Hey there, it's James Davenport with PC Gamer, and today I'm going to be pointing and also clicking to explode monsters. Joining me is the brains behind this novel adventure. Is it Max Schaefer? Max Schaefer? Max Schaefer. I have a typo here. I put two F's in my script.
Oh,
like
there are 8 ways.
Pro.
There are 8 ways to spell Schaefer. They're all equally common. And, don't feel bad about getting it wrong.
Right on. Well, thanks for joining me. It's pretty cool to be playing this with you. CEO of Echtra and kind of the driving force behind this the third Torchlight game. For our readers and listeners who don't know who you are, do you mind talking sort of about your background and kind of what you're doing now with Torchlight?
Certainly. So I've been making video games for 27 years, and the majority of that has been making ARPGs, starting with Diablo 1 and going through Diablo 2, Diablo 2 expansion, and then on to a little game called Mythos, which was also part of the company that made Hellgate London. Mm-hmm. Then after that, starting up Runic and making Torchlight 1 and Torchlight 2. And now I have started a new studio, Echtra, in San Francisco area, and we're making Torchlight 3. So it's been just a whole lot of ARPGs, and it's still fun after all these years.
It certainly is. We were speaking before recording that these games, like, I don't know, if you're a PC like gamer, not to gatekeep, but if you're a real PC gamer, then you know the potent power of a good ARPG, especially with a satisfying mouse to click on. We won't be just clicking. It won't just be ambient ASMR clicking this whole time. We'll be talking about the genre of this game and sort of its early access journey, and all sorts of stuff. Any questions that kind of arise as we play, because I'm pretty fresh to this. I was waiting until we got closer to release to dive in, and after I knew I could, I had time to properly dedicate weeks and weeks to losing myself in a time dissolver like this. But yeah, thanks for being here, Max.
My pleasure.
Right on. So let's get going. What's first on the agenda here?
Let's head out of the town here and off to our first combat area.
Right on.
The town is fixed, but all of the levels, as is the custom, are randomized. So the layout's a little different every time. Different monsters, different items, obviously.
Gotcha.
But we're going out here into the Goblin Stronghold. So the whole first act, it takes place basically in the Goblins' environment. And there are lots and lots of them to kill.
Hey.
So let's go see what we find.
What is it about goblins?
They're lovable and deadly. Yeah.
Goblins and rats, the most satisfying starter enemy in
Yeah. And so I'm playing the Forged character, which is obviously a robot.
Yeah.
You are the Railmaster, so you're able to make a train.
Some really interesting. That's something that stands out to me about Torchlight 3 is the kind of. It feels like very experimental or sort of out there character designs and character like functions. Can you talk about?
Yeah, we've never repeated a character in any of the Diablos or Torchlights.
Right.
And the idea is that we want to make something completely new, but that you get the sense of what it does just by looking at it.
Right.
And so it's a concept that we call familiar novelty. Where it's comfortable and it's intuitive, but something you've never played before. And I'm pretty confident that there is no other ARPG with the guy that hauls a train around it.
It's a pretty novel thing for sure. I have not seen that in a game, but it's very satisfying. It's just hilarious, dude. There's something, there's like a comedy to Torchlight that you don't really.
It's a nice break from the dark gothic, grim games, which again, there's no problem with those. I love those.
Yeah, sure.
But it's also kind of nice to go somewhere a little bit goofier, a little bit more colorful, a little bit more pleasant place to spend days and days and days and days.
Sure. Right on.
All right, so we're at the entrance of our first quest area here.
Let's go.
And let's go kill some zombies.
Zombies, yeah.
So this one's going to be a haunted graveyard.
It's perfect theme for this month. Oh, whoa! Got some environmental hazards too.
Yeah, watch out for the blue fire. And we got there's marked on the map. There's these gravestones with the swords that we have to click all 5 of them before we can get the
Gotcha.
boss. So I'll go over and get this one.
Orienting myself here. Okay. I play D. So, ooh.
Right, so every character class has 2 inherent skill trees, and then a
Yes.
third skill tree that is determined by the relic that you pick at the beginning.
Right.
And it really changes the flavor of it's really fun to be able to mix and match those relics with the character classes, because it kind of exponentially increases the number of flavors of build you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I chose this Bane. So
Yes.
I think in my mind I imagined just like a train and a train conductor spewing poison, and that made me very.
We call that the Bane train build.
Bane train, baby. Oh yes. Okay. Okay.
The Bane relic also gives you a decent number of good summon skills. So it kind of makes it sort of a hybrid summoner with that.
Okay.
The Railmaster has his 2 skill trees are one that all involve the train and building up the train and getting different cars on that, and the other one is more of a brawling skill tree. And you can actually make a Railmaster not use the train at all, which is kind of interesting to do.
Huh.
But it's more fun with the train.
Sure. Oh, there we go. All right, looking on the map here. Let me get one of these. Boom.
Okay, yeah.
What did I just pick up? Just a AOE temp thing, like some kind of totem? I'm trying to.
Oh yeah, that's a shrine. There's different shrines in the game that'll just give you a temporary buff. In this case, it's the fire damage that radiates from.
Hell yeah. Explode.
Crowd control.
And now I'm mining a boulder. Okay.
Yep, there's resources. The resources are mostly to construct things for your fort. And one of the cool things that we've added in Torchlight 3 is you have kind of a player housing that are, look like forts. And that it's not just like a trophy room or storage room. You actually build things in your fort that help your whole account. Like you can plant a luck tree in there, and if you feed the luck tree items, it gives you an account-based luck boost. So all of the characters you make can benefit from it. And there's a couple other monuments that you can do with like goblin essence and stuff that give you an account-wide boost. Now the cool thing is your forts, and you can also decorate them and make them look cool and all that. But your forts will appear randomly in the world, and other people will see them. And so if other people come into your fort and they can explore, they can use things like your luck tree as a shrine. So we just had that shrine that gave us a fire damage. If they feed an item to your luck tree, they'll get an item luck boost for the next few minutes.
Oh.
So it's worthwhile and you can also use in the late game. You can use other people's enchanting tables and stuff. So it pays to check out other people's forts and avail yourself of the things that they've built in there.
Nice little social element, yeah. All right, let's get this sucker. Boom. All right. Yeah, talk to me about my, or maybe help me understand the train guy. How does my character class work here? So I summon a train.
Yeah, so you summon a train and it will automatically follow you. You can start and stop it with the button that's assigned for it, usually the right click. And so you can actually like stop the train and then bring monsters back to it just to kind of strategically place it the way you want. Otherwise, it just kind of follows you, so you don't have to actually worry about it.
Interesting.
But it shoots passively. But it also, like if you get some of the different cars on it, there's an active shoot that you can do and a passive one. So it'll be like if you have the mortar car, it'll shoot mortars out passively, but you can also direct them and shoot them actively.
Gotcha. So it's kind of cool. I like the idea of skirting the battlefield or the arena, kind of just beep, 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 like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Chipping away.
Kind of move around. Watch out for this guy's fire. That's no joke.
These guys, boom.
And generally, the levels have a boss towards the end.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah.
And the bosses, of course, have a boss chest, which will give you the best loot. Oh yeah, when this guy gets to half height or half health, he
something happens.
Minions.
Ah.
The Forge character, the one I'm playing, is entirely a robot, and his mechanic is interesting. It's a heat-based mechanic. So if I shoot my gun incessantly, it builds up heat, and I either have to let the heat dissipate or use one of my vent skills And my vent skill in this case is Vortex Bomb, and it releases the heat for me. So I'm instead of juggling mana, I'm juggling heat with this guy.
Gotcha.
Forged.
Look at that. Okay. Ooh. Loot is loot instance, so
Loot is instant, so we do not compete for loot.
Thank goodness.
You got some good stuff?
I didn't want to steal from you, just in case.
You got a killer sword.
Let's see. Wow, I got this cool Mask of the Silent. What does that do? Plus, so it's good for endurance regen. Also, it looks like a cool owl. Extra bonus damage. Some sword.
Now we also get this big boss chest up here.
Ooh, oh, I didn't even see that. Okay.
Don't forget the boss chest.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yes.
Shower of items.
What do you think? This is what makes a good loot shower? As someone who's been doing this for a while, I gotta know.
It's the sparkles and the noise, honestly.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's just it's the payoff after doing a big boss battle. This first one was really easy. We start you off pretty gently in this game.
Yeah.
And we can go through here. But it's the culmination. It's the glass of water after a long hike.
There you go.
You've just done a bunch of work, and it's the payoff. And we make sure that you get some good quality items there. Now, it is important, however, to have it not be the only way you get the good items. Like just breaking a crate has to have kind of a really remote chance of giving you something really good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always hope that the next thing you click is going to give you that great item. However, boss chests are probably the best way to get stuff. All right, so the quest, now that we've killed these, we have to go report back to town. So I'm going to make a portal here. And we can go to General Gray and collect further rewards and get further instruction.
Right on. We were talking about the early access release and sort of the path this game took. Some folks were like, I don't know, like this was a decidedly different game in some ways than the previous two. Sort of partly due to the journey this game took originally as what was the previous sort of form and format of this?
Well, we started life as sort of a pseudo ARPG MMO.
Yes, that's right.
Called Torchlight Frontiers, and it was also a free-to-play game. And
right.
The reason was that our publisher wanted a game that could be sold globally and monetizable globally.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 years ago, that pretty much meant we had to go free-to-play. That is no longer the case, and that factored into our decision to go premium. So not only is the global marketplace more friendly to that now, but our customers, and our Torchlight community that is used to Torchlight 1 and 2 were not liking the free-to-play idea very much. And as we were making the game was also telling us, let's just go back kind of to the old format. We can keep all the cool stuff like the shared towns and the forts and all the really cool things that we were making and just make it a one-time purchase and dispense with the, item purchases and all of that.
Gotcha.
And that kind of let us just focus on what was fun and what's cool and not worry about how we're going to, make long loops that incite you to buy things, which is kind of always the way. And you can do that, in a mean way or in a gentle way, but it's still always, you're not just thinking about what's cool and what's fun. And that's what we wanted to do.
Right on.
And our people were pretty happy about that, the community.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting, right? Like that is a pretty unique path to take to what we have now. Torchlight 3 did, and you mentioned things like the town and shared like these instances. Did like any happy accidents sort of emerge that you maybe wouldn't have otherwise considered from that unique path, like from the initial free to play sort of structure design?
I think that having it more of a shared world gave us all the ideas for the fort and how it can be kind of a social feature that we totally kept. Because it wasn't part of really the monetization or the the MMO structure of it. So keeping those social areas where you see random people was definitely a leftover from that, and that was kind of a happy accident because we were really just making a shared world. One of the cool things that we found out was that shared combat spaces, if we just saw random people out here, not necessarily the best experiences, because you have to respawn them, to have them be just live and up all the time. And that kind of deprives you of that feeling of clearing an area out. And if you ever leave or check your inventory or do your skills, everything just repopulates, and it's kind of a bummer. Right. And so we've made the combat areas right now are all instanced, and just for you and your party.
Gotcha.
And by the way, we are partied up here. You can do parties up to 4 people.
Right on.
Where did you go? Did you go down?
Yeah. I had to.
The side dungeon.
Yeah. You can't not. Can't not.
There we go. But anyway, we went into early access with all of this, and as I was saying before, there was an interruption. We went in pretty early. It was rough. There was a lot of bugs, and then the first 48 hours, our servers broke from all the crowds that came in, and so people were pretty upset about that. And they just paid their $30 and they can't play. They're getting disconnected, and it was awful for 48 hours. So we figured that out, and glad we did it in early access and not on our release.
For sure.
And but it certainly did sort of. We got a little bit review bombed from that and all, but we deserved it. If people pay $30, they deserve to be able to play.
In a good place now, though. So I guess what are the big changes or the biggest sort of maybe pivot's not the right word, but alterations or lessons from the early access period that kind of led to this state of the game today?
Well, one of the big pivots we did was changing it from horizontal content, which is what we were calling it, to just more of a linear progression. So previously we had 3 acts of content, but they were not linear. Like they weren't meant to be done one and then the other and then the other. You could do any of them at any time. And the idea there was that, you'd have different gear that you'd gear up for each one of the acts. So when you started a new act, you had to kind of start with all new gear. But the idea was that we could add new acts to the game, and it wouldn't be end game content or beginning game content. It would just be new content that everyone could share in. And that kind of didn't work in the end. I mean, we only had 2 acts in, and so the players weren't really getting it yet. And it kind of made it a bummer to start a new act because you had to start with kind of the beginning gear for that act after wearing kind of the most badass stuff from the previous one. And so we just scrapped it and went to a linear format, and that worked better for our lore as well, and just kind of the story. So it was a good pivot. Again, people liked that. They understood it better. All right, our quest is to go into the den of up people here.
Let's hit it.
Let's do it. But yeah, I mean, it was great to go into early access because we got such good feedback from the community, and we really hammered it. We spent almost all of our time just, listening to them, figuring out, sometimes it was good criticism, sometimes it was bad, but it all kind of pointed to something that we were doing right or wrong. And, we spent the last several months just fixing it and adding things and, kind of making a more traditional 3 skill tree character. That was another thing that we had before, is that you didn't get your relic tree until later in the game. And it wasn't really a full skill tree either. It was its own kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And people were like, no, we want tons of skills that we can see right up front so we can plan our builds and know what we're dealing with. So we're like, you know what, you guys are kind of right. It is cooler that way. And so we made the relics into something you pick at character create now, and it has a full skill tree, just like the others.
Gotcha.
And it used to have its own point system too. You didn't even use skill points, you used different kind of points. But it just made it all simpler to understand and kind of simpler to visualize what kind of cool builds you can make by doing it all at character create. So again, the community was right. We were wrong.
How do you, I don't know, do you have much experience with early access development?
No, this is the first time we've done this. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering what what that was like, period, because I think what you show up with can matter so much. It's always interesting. It's interesting to look at what Larian does with Divinity.
Everyone does it differently. Everyone does it differently.
Yeah.
One of our good friends we actually share an office with are the Unknown Worlds guys who make Subnautica.
Oh,
they-
yeah. That's like
They spent a long time in early access, you know.
early success story for that format, I think.
Yeah, but they were like ridiculously in early access. So
Yeah.
they really were able to establish kind of that trust with their players, and you know that they were legit. But they were kind of our inspiration. They're like, you know, you get so much good input from your players in early access, so we should totally do that. We're like, you know, we could use that input. You know, we're a new team. This studio was made just for this game, and a new engine. We're using Unreal, and so it was you know we spent so much time focusing on getting the tech working and all that that it was really nice to be able to just listen to the players.
Right. Good to hear. Yeah, these things can go. I don't know, like early access. I think is an anxiety-inducing idea.
It is. It really is because at first the players have distrust. You know, they're like you're just trying to get money before your game's done, and you know you have to establish that no, we're listening to you, we're changing the game. This is really about what you guys want. So we got to get these purple mushrooms before we get out of here.
Oh right. Also, I could open that chest.
Oh yeah, there's totally the chest and a pet cage. By the way, you find new pets when you're out on these quests.
Okay, so I did. Yeah, I had an early access reward and already switched to that guy.
But you can get this and it'll send it back to your fort. When you make a pet building in your fort, you can just collect all these guys. But the cool thing is also you get you get the availability of that pet's skill now. And all the pets will have different skills, and you can slot different skills into your pet. So, like, once you have that skill, you can just mix and match with your pets because we didn't want to force people into playing a particular kind of animal.
Gotcha. Cool. Let's see. What do we got? Mace.
Got a rare hatch.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I got this Vanquisher. This. Great sword. It's pretty sick. It's all glowing. And what does it do? Ice damage? Yeah. I am a badass train conductor. Let me pick up these.
Yeah, never gets old.
3 out of 3. Yep, got them. Okay.
All right, now we can get out of here.
Boom. So I'm kind of wondering, like, there's been a lot of like new players since like Diablo kind of like embedded itself into the culture of PC gaming and made the ARPG a thing. You know, I think there's a couple other folks in there too, but
we're supposed to go back to the town here. Something to pop up.
Oh yes, and you know we've seen Path of Exile, we've seen some other like more special, like Van Helsing I think was one that came out a while back, and another one I'm forgetting, Grim Dawn. We've seen quite a few like good takes on the genre,
for sure,
doing different things. Where do you think like what does Torchlight 3 sort of exist in that space for you?
Well, I think
what is it trying to do that?
I think that we're trying to be maybe we're a little more casual than a Path of Exile.
Mm-hmm. That skill tree is gives me a migraine.
Right. The skill web.
Yeah.
And we're trying to be, maybe like I was saying, a little bit brighter, a little friendlier, more colorful universe, a little goofier, a little more humor, because this genre can get a little bit overly serious sometimes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, at the same time, we want to have that same cool environments and items and lore and loot and bosses that any of them have. We still want to. You still have to nail that fun play, and it's really hard. It's very, very easy for your game to feel clunky and just not work quite right. So we're just trying to kind of stake out that ground. We're just a touch more casual. We're coming out on consoles this time, day one.
Right on.
And PlayStation and Xbox, and then Switch will be released on October 22nd. The game has to work on consoles as well from day one. We actually designed all the interface and stuff like that right off the bat. So you can also use a controller on your PC if you prefer that.
I do remember.
Going back to our portal.
That's good to know. Can you explain this contract system to me? Is it just sort of like a meta progression?
It is a meta progression. You earn your way through the contracts with fame.
Gotcha.
And fame you get from killing bosses. And I probably just ditched your portal.
Oh, where'd you go?
I think that if you hit on the main portal in the town, that you can portal right to me.
Oh, gotcha.
Does it have that? It might be only after we get a waypoint.
Your portal. I'm not seeing you.
Maybe if I... Let's see. I can warp. Yeah. If you, I don't know if you can do it in town. Is if you try to make a portal.
Okay, let's do
then
that.
you can see. You'll see me at the bottom.
Oh, boom. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Handy. Cool.
Yep. Always portal to your teammates.
Boom.
There we are.
Movement skills.
Yeah. Every character class has at least one movement skill, which is sort of like an escape when you're surrounded. Or, just a way to get get yourself out of a tight situation.
Gotcha. Wait,
Yeah, let's head up to the right.
All right. Oh my gosh, the skills are unlocking. Let's see here.
Oh yeah. Got to get your skill.
Active skill. That sounds fun. Summon. Oh yes, I love summons in games. Like I'm always playing the summoner in ARPGs. What the hell? That's pretty sick.
My cold heart skill going.
Yeah. Oh man. Do you find it like I always wonder because this is a very much a comfort food genre to me, and Torchlight especially feels like geared toward the comfort side of this genre, just like
Totally
goes down easy, and even though there's that complexity is there, but it's not like.
Well, which is also one of the reasons we decided to just go with you pay your $40 and you're done.
Right.
It just kind of you don't want to feel like you have an obligation to be playing all night and keeping up with your friends. It is a little more casual in that way that it's like just play how you want when you want.
That's probably my least favorite trend in game development, which is I guess it is a side effect of just like the attention economy requiring a player's attention is like more valuable in some spaces than
right
the money. How long can you keep them invested in your
Yep. Which means you have to make things that require that you're spending hours.
It's it. There's the fear of FOMO is in too many games these days.
Yep.
Like, you have to choose one, and that's your game forever. Yeah. It's a little
that's a bit much.
Worrisome. I'm seeing a boss. Where's this guy at?
He's up here to the.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can see him on the map. He's actually up and around a little. We build all these little set pieces where we put strong monsters. It's not. This is just kind of a random boss. It's not part of a quest or anything.
Right. Oh, there he is. Ooh.
Down there.
What's up, buddy? Eat my spider. Yes. Done for. Oh yeah. So I have a question. Space. But I'm kind of wondering. This is like
can't fight bosses and talk at the same time. And so
interviewing, I don't know how Twitch people do it. Honestly, like
I know, seriously,
it's bonkers to me. Entertain people and oh my gosh, so much going on. It's a comfort food genre. I'm kind of wondering, like, and you've been working in this kind of design space for a while. Do you feel like do you ever feel constrained by the genre, or do you feel like it's running out of a room to iterate and surprise?
I think
yourself or players with.
No, and I think we're still just kind of at the beginning of the ARPG genre.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like we're just kind of figuring out. We're getting the basic loot game down and the way that it progresses, but there's so much more to do. There's so many different styles to probe. There hasn't really been a good definitive sci-fi version yet. That's kind of the same sort of thing. And there's just a lot of ways to go with it, and doing competitive modes and more big social guildy stuff. I mean, there's just infinite variations.
Interesting. So, pie in the sky, like idealism here. But what do you imagine when you think of this genre, like 10 years, 20 years from now?
Oh man,
what would you like to see?
Yeah, I like kind of the weird hybrid of persistence and instance and session-based play, and I really do want to further explore like investing in the world more. Meaning like like what we've started with the forts here. But I would like to go further into like almost politics, like
interesting.
Having a standing in the world, and being able to even like set policies or kind of determine the gameplay in some way.
So Crusader Kings 3, but you're poking goblins.
Yeah. It's all just mix and matching.
There you go. Yeah, it's not that simple. I realize, but I mean that is pretty interesting. So kind of layering some more.
Yeah, I'd like to just feel like that whatever work I put in is kind of mattering in the world, and in some weird intangible way to other people.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Oops, you know what?
Did I go the wrong way?
No, we both just got put into our own forts.
Whoa. Okay.
Or where? Actually, where are you? Are you in
Vale
my
Passage?
Yeah. So you're.
Pop
You're
back.
probably seeing a random fort out there.
Yeah, let me pop back here.
Oh, do I have my fort? Oh no, this is just okay.
Is it because it's tutorialized? It's making me do a separate
it
thing.
is.
That's fine.
But we can just continue on out the other side of that
Sure.
trail passage to the Fields of Unrest.
Yep. Let me just
That'll
run on
pop us
through.
back into the thing. Yeah, once you've actually made your fort, it'll go into the party leader's fort every time. If everyone, so that's ideally what happens.
Makes sense.
Yep.
No, you gotta control some of the experience at the top here if you want folks to grasp instead of gloss over. Well, something I wonder as I slash these goblins is. Do any of your designers watch pimple popping videos?
Not that I know of.
There's a distinct energy to these little gremlins, or these little ones.
Yeah.
But, oops, let me get that train going. Come on, train.
Oh yeah, you're fighting your fort boss, aren't you?
Yeah,
you're clearing out your thing. Oh boy.
He's going down pretty quick.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah, that will be your fort forever now.
Hell yeah. Let's pick that stuff up. Cool.
Now it's going to tell you to go back to town via that waypoint.
But I can just pass.
But you might be able to just go straight to me on that waypoint.
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Let's see if I can.
If I show up on it. Otherwise, you can just pop in a portal and that'll work too.
Let's do that.
You can't catch that here.
Can't cast in there though.
Ah.
Well, I'll pop back down real quick.
Okay.
Really
That's what you're supposed to do anyway.
No worries. I can just edit this a little bit out.
Tutorial questing.
Yeah. Okay.
There's precious little tutorial stuff in the game,
Yeah, it's going down quickly.
but it's just like getting it. We didn't want to layer on the fort right off the bat when you.
Yeah, that's a fairly
first here.
different concept. So
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
It gets really fun to decorate your fort too.
I mean, that's the kind of thing I am really into personally. Is what am I playing right now? Hades. I don't know if you've seen this, but
I've seen some videos from Hades. I haven't played it yet. I'm excited to try. That's another local Bay Area made game.
that's right. Supergiant. Bay Area. I missed the Bay Area. Great spot. Oh, here you are. Cool. We're back. Right on. What's ooh.
Oh yeah.
Chop down tree.
Get your-
So many glowing things. Fertile soil. So what's that?
You're gonna make your luck tree eventually.
A luck tree.
Yeah, plant that in your fort,
Okay.
and that gives you item luck if you feed it items.
Hell yeah.
It gives you kind of a permanent. You feed it just your excess items, and it grows the luck tree, and you get a permanent account-based item find.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys
There's
are
a little bit of a thing going.
juicy. Yeah. Focus, James. I'm doing the thing where I see the loot in the middle of a fight, and I'm like,
Right.
Pick that up real quick. What kind of what's sort of so we're seeing some of the early game here. But what kind of wacky, crazy character builds are you seeing and maybe playing with yourself that
Well, you know what? When it's funny. Like now we're actually live and real, and I want to make real characters. But when we're testing, I like to just pick like the skills that are like my initial reaction is like, no, I don't want that one. Just to see kind of like the contrary build, you know, like the ones that don't sound like they're the big ticket, you know, fun ones. And it's weird. It's like I find some of the funnest builds doing that, just like picking the things that I thought, you know, don't sound fun or that I would never do naturally. And you end up with just, you know, playing it different every time and having a different combination of skills. And some of them work like crazily well.
some weird synergies.
Yeah. But I like to do weird, you know, like making the train guy without a train.
So cruel existence.
And you know, the Dusk Mage is built on this light dark balance, but you just go all one tree. You know, anytime you just like concentrate all into one tree, you can get some fun things.
Yeah, I want to become.
But I don't even know yet. You know, there's so many infinite combinations that I have no idea what the best builds are.
That's something I wonder. How do you go about designing I don't know, like just the literal process of making.
It's a little like making sausage.
Yeah, how so?
Well, I mean, you have theories and you know, equations that you start with.
Yeah.
But there's so many things work differently. Like a lob is different than a fast missile, and a slightly larger AOE versus a slightly smaller AOE. And it's impossible to compute like really what the effectiveness is. So you have theories and progressions and curves that you kind of start with, and then you just start playing the hell out of it, and kind of it's whack-a-mole from there. You know, it's like, oh, this is overpowered, we'll nerf that a bit. This one's underpowered, we'll make that a little better. But it's funny how much of it comes like after the theorizing and after the, you know, the implementation of you know, your theorized mathematical curves for things. And you know, that's
the
math
that you guys aren't like perfect,
math,
all-seeing.
No, that's like the
mathematicians
first 40% of it, and then the majority of the time is just playing it and seeing what
You're not all these
feels
perfect
right.
genius designers that
Oh God, no.
walk in to the meeting and I figured it out.
Yeah, no.
The perfect AOE.
Like everything else, it's just, you know, thousands of hours of effort.
Right.
That gets you there.
Let's see. Oh my gosh.
I have leveled.
Right on. I love
And
it.
you know that by the way, the process of balancing and fixing and tuning is going to go on well past
Oh, I'm sure.
launch as well.
Yeah.
As we find someone one-shotting everything on ridiculous mode, we'll say, hey.
That's a question I love asking, though, is, I mean, the broad appeal of these games to a lot of folks is finding what is OP and overpowered and running with it. Like, what's like the sweet spot for you? Like, what is...
So it's there isn't one, and that's an interesting question, because what you want is to have times where you're feeling overpowered and times when you're feeling underpowered.
Right.
And so it's kind of in a weird way, it's the controlled imbalance which makes the game fun.
Ducking in and out of the curve. Oh, mimic.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, mimic him. Yeah, ducking in and out of the curve and you know, struggling for a long time and then finding that item that suddenly you're kicking ass, and it's all coming together and you feel like you know, you're Superman. That's what you want, but you need that time feeling underpowered as well, you know, for that, you know, or else it's just too easy.
Right.
But yeah, it's really kind of fun finding that balance.
Oh, what's that glowy thing? I'm seeing things. There's a sparky thing on the map. What was that? You don't know.
Somewhere is our quest objective.
Yes. I don't know. There's something.
Was there a flashy thing on the auto map?
It was like a golden node, a little kind of diamond. I don't know what that means.
Probably something really important.
I'm sure.
Gotta go back this way.
I also find peeling back the fog on the map to be intrinsically a very satisfying thing.
It is, and like finishing it out, and even like I missed something. Oh, but there's the spot on the map.
I kind of hate and love that I'm so compelled to clean it, wipe it clean.
You sound like you're our audience.
I told you, like I can't when I can't just like. So my plans for my weekend have sort of changed based on the fact that I just booted this up at all, because I know, cool. Once I sort of start the loop here, I know what these games will do to me, and this one's doing it.
It's funny. Some of the guys in the office got me playing that other game, Risk of Rain 2.
Oh, yep.
And
one more run.
I played a little bit of it, and I was like, okay, I think that's going to be my weekend.
It's very, very good. It's funny that game feels definitely. I mean, it's a roguelike, but it definitely.
It's unique. It's got its own thing.
It's that ARPG DNA is there. It's funny to see.
Yeah, and the pacing is just right. Like you say, I could totally just do one more.
Yep. Zipping up and below or up and down above the power curve. Yep. Good vibes. Video games.
Yep. That's why we do it.
I'm kind of wondering, like, do you find any unexpected? I think like the inspirations for familiar genre games made in a very familiar known genre like this are, and I gotta watch my health. Talking there's some obvious influences, right? But I'm kind of wondering, like, what outside influences, not even video games necessarily, did you sort of possibly pull from when making this?
Well, one of the great things about doing original IP is you can just make everything up as you go.
Yeah.
And but I mean, having said that, this has been Torchlight now for 10 years, and it was the gang at Runic with my brother Eric and Travis Baldry and the whole gang in Seattle really set the universe and what it is. And we have to make something completely new and different in the universe, but at the same time being totally Torchlight. So we are beholden to our community in a way here, but so much fits into the Torchlight universe that it's just running with it and extending it is a pleasure, really. And we still get to, since there isn't a ton of lore and a ton of history in the universe, so we still get to just pick cool things that we see elsewhere in films and other games or whatever, and just use everything as inspiration.
Gotcha.
None of us are making this up from scratch. This is all, abstracted graphic Dungeons and Dragons when you really get down to it.
For sure.
And we stand on the shoulders of giants, I like to say.
Oh, let's see here.
Let's see. Where'd you go?
What's this? Oh, it's a big mimic. Did I lose you?
Yeah, I see where you are, though.
I want to get this guy. He's running away.
Yeah, I got him.
I've died, James.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What did I do? He just led me right into that. That's okay. Early game still. I'm not expecting to.
No, and we're having to talk and be entertaining while not dying.
Be it, yeah.
That's why I heard about we're doing this. I was like, wait, I have to play while we're talking?
Oh, man. Like, we used to do a live podcast for a while there, and I was like this basically producer, switching between videos and trying to host as well, and I don't think I'll ever do that again. It's bonkers.
Again, the YouTube and the streamers and the Twitch streamers, God, those guys have a talent.
Yeah. Plus, just talking for over an hour.
It's exhausting. Yeah, it's exhausting. Those people work harder than anyone. Like, people have this impression of them just like having a job where they play video games. Like, oh my God.
No, it's
not at all.
It's a lot. All right, let's see here. Can I put this on now? No. Two-hand. Oh,
by the way, if your inventory is full, you can send your pet to town.
Yes, I've been doing that. I remember the torch.
Right,
was that a Torchlight invention?
It was actually an invention from the game called Fate, which Travis Baldry made before Torchlight 1. And so that was one of the little things we brought.
It's funny to see like all of you like this, the ARPG like inner circle, the influences everywhere and sort of like where they show up in future projects from sort of a lot of that.
Oh yeah. And you know, we are definitely a community, the ARPG making companies. Like we're good friends with the Path of Exile guys. Mm-hmm. We go drinking whenever they come out for Game Developers Conference and stuff like that. They flew us down to ExileCon actually.
Oh, fun!
And I got to go to New Zealand and check out their convention. It was super.
Was
fun.
that the when they announced the second game?
Yeah, it's PoE 2.
Sort of sequel.
Yeah,
structure. Interesting.
Yeah, their semi-sequel, whatever it is.
Y'all get into impassioned debates about.
No, it's all love. When we're hanging out, it's just all love. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's in sort of a way they kind of were the spiritual successors of Diablo 2.
Right.
Just because they're really in that style and they were around long before 3 came out. So for a long time, that was like bridging the gap.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we get these packs of. By the way, oops. Yep,
dodging these poison spots. All right, there we go.
By the way, the higher difficulties, you get more of the champion and unique packs like that.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
It gets pretty hairy.
Let's see. Do I want this one?
Oh.
Classic. Yeah, right. There we go. All righty. Not sure.
I see a waypoint up there that we can get.
Yes.
I'll watch my health.
Do you have a particular philosophy about like level design? It's a tough, like, because these are isometric games. You're not dungeon crawling and exploration is like part of it, but I think like being engaged in doing combat more often than not is sort of feels like what drives.
It does, but it's surprising how much the levels matter.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Like
it feels like
size,
an invisible touch, yeah.
Yeah, the size, the pacing, the atmosphere of it. Like even though like you're totally just killing like crazy. Mm-hmm. Did you get the waypoint?
Do I have to click it to get it?
Yeah, you have to click it to get it. And now you have that forever. It's good to have.
Okay, boom.
All right, and then the thing is over here. But yeah, like so we're constantly adjusting the the overall size of the levels, how many turns they have, how long the dead ends can go before they're kind of a bummer. You know, the density of monsters. You kind of want waves of monsters. You know, just like it can't just be a totally smooth. You know, like one after another.
The tide, like you really have to calculate the moon's gravity, so to speak.
Right, and you know when to advance and when to kind of pull back and kind of maintain the size of the things in front of you. How many packs should be unique ones, and how much should just be like the popcorn monsters that you mow through?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think the apprenticeship of observation that so many gamers have, like especially with a game or ARPGs, that they sort of present as very simplistic because when you play them, you know it's that flow state kind of if they're good.
Right. Oh my God, yeah. The more that it seems simplistic, the more work was done to get to that point. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm getting. I gotta watch my health now.
Yep, me too. I'm a little trouble there.
All right, don't forget about your spiders, James. Okay. Oh shit, I forgot to do my skills though, so maybe I should.
Yeah, I got a couple skill points to do here. Well.
All right.
Yeah, and then like how many clickables there are and things like that. Things that you just think you kind of take for granted. If it feels right, you don't notice it. You know.
Let's see, what is this? Dead claws. Work boots. No. Ooh, I do want these. Give me those.
Let's see where we're at.
And what was skills? S? Yes. All right. So many.
Yep.
Hammer.
Ramming robot for sure. that one. All right.
I'm going to do more poison here. Finally release a wave of toxic projectiles. Poison bolts. And... oh, yes, more summons. Okay. Passive. Get some passives in. Right on.
Yeah. Here we go.
Deeper, deeper.
So we have these big charts of the levels and like which one goes to where and what monsters are there and all that. Just to get the rhythm, so you're not like constantly fighting the same kind of monsters, one after another. You get a good mix of it. We usually preview kind of the next area at least once in the previous area.
Huh. Okay. So
Like he'll go down into a dungeon and it'll look a little bit like the next area, which is the Hive bug area.
kind of like a little invisible sort of incentive to keep going.
Yeah, just a little foreshadow.
The intrigue. Oh, let's get my train out. I keep forgetting to.
And nowadays, you can't just have monsters popping into existence or just hanging out there. So they have to be climbing up from below or dropping down from something above.
The
So you gotta
theatrics of entry.
Yes, right. So you got to make a lot of those things. It's like, okay, we need 1 and 2 meter drop downs and ditches to climb up out of.
What do you? Okay, maybe I got to quit asking like these absolutes because what is this? I got to go over here. Oh, that's what that signifies. Oh no, what do you think is the most invisible, unsung hero or thing that is taken for granted in a game like this, Torchlight 3? Oh my God!
Apart if we hadn't just talked about it, I would say it's just getting the mechanics of the combat to feel right, and what. And it sounds super dumb and simple, but of clicking, and because there's so many scenarios. It's like if you're holding down on a monster and it dies and you slide over without letting up onto a chest, should it open? And you really have to go down this ridiculous, absurd tree of things. And, only after you've rigorously done that does it feel even remotely good at all,
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many of those, there's so many things like that. The unsung hero is just the iteration and the time. But another one is that we haven't really talked about is sound. Everything making a nice, satisfying sound and a informative sound is hugely important.
Poison. That was not okay.
I think that from the Diablos till now, we've defined kind of what the music should be like in an ARPG, and we still have Matt Ullman, the composer from Diablo 1, worked with him for a quarter of a century now on these.
Damn. All right.
Yeah, we barely have to even talk anymore.
Just mumble.
Show him the levels. Yeah, he's actually remote. He was a remote employee before COVID.
Oh, okay.
Now everyone is.
Yeah. Ooh. How has the remote situation affected you all? Because a lot of change at once, or back to back in the development.
Yeah,
of this game.
a lot of change. A new studio, a new office, a new team, a new engine, and then right in the middle of our production, we get hit with COVID, and then if that wasn't enough, we had the California wildfires.
Yeah. Of course.
We had employees getting evacuated. We had rolling blackouts, and the power was out, and we couldn't deploy our patch for this. So it's really wild how it's just one thing after another. And we're also doing 4 platforms at largely at once.
Yeah, not a small
for the
feat.
first time. So it's been completely crazy, but we didn't have to go into remote work until we were pretty far into it. So we were almost at the stage where, it's a lot easier to go down your bug list and just fix all the things that are assigned to you than it is when you're in like the blue sky creative.
Really fundamental.
Yeah,
laying down the track.
Face to face is much better then. So it's going to be a challenge going forward, and it was a challenge now, but I don't know.
Ooh, what's this? A healing shrine.
I'm in awe of our crew. They were super professional about all of it.
Right on. It's good to hear. Oh,
like,
tight.
When I started in the game business, it was just kind of the rare computer nerd and really dedicated game guy. But no one had ever really worked in the business. We all were just making it up as we went. But now it's like people are so ridiculously professional that it's fun starting a new studio and just meeting new people that are so incredibly talented.
Yeah. Oh, you're done, sir.
And we reunited with some of the old Diablo 2 people for this company too, which was
really
fun. Yeah. Like our project lead, Tyler Thompson, was the lead on the Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction.
Ah, good. Good old expansion that.
Yeah, that worked out pretty good. That was the only Blizzard project, by the way, that was ever on time and on budget. so we're starting this company. It's like, I'm going to ask Tyler if he wants to come and do this.
Probably, yeah. That's pretty good. Oh, I got this beautiful cat. Okay. I'm a swap. Sorry. Cat with a backpack? You kidding me?
Yeah, it's an instant win.
It's adorable. It's too much. Let's see. Oh my gosh. The sorting phase.
Yep. I got a nice new body.
Ooh, go on, try that. Rare sort. Oh, I can use a shield with this one.
And you can zoom in with the mouse wheel to look at your character up close.
Oh, I keep forgetting I meant to do that.
Yeah. Just to see what he looks like.
So we got 11% chance. Yeah, look at this one.
And you can even play in zoomed in view, and it's kind of fun sometimes.
Check yourself out. Yeah, why not? Let's see the detail. Okay, +1. Yeah, I want that. Okay.
Send home.
And boom. Yeah, pretty cool. So y'all are using Unreal this time, you said?
Yes, it is Unreal.
How's that been?
It's been fun. It poses its own challenges, but it also makes it possible to do 4 platforms with one studio of 40 people. You know, that would not be possible otherwise. And it's really, it's been fun learning it. There's been times where we're like, well, we have to write that part ourselves, and so we spend a week writing code and figuring it out, and then we find out later that's just a checkbox in Unreal.
Sheesh.
So now we always look for the checkbox before you go in.
Let's see. Juice, mutually exclusive with flamethrower. Yeah. Oh, I don't have any skill points. What am I doing? All right. Where are we off to now?
We're off to Trial of Fire.
Okay.
It's usually just onward.
Yeah, I shouldn't be asking. I mean, that's like another thing. If you just kind of can intuitively wander in the right direction, it's another one of those invisible design feats.
Yeah.
Because these things are kind of by virtue, or at least at a glance, a maze, but
yeah. But if they're too mazy, then people don't like it.
Yeah. Okay. How much of that is I don't know. That's like another in a game, especially like an ARPG, where so much of it is sort of based on maintaining that flow state, getting into that flow state, and just intuiting, kind of like without too much downtime, where to go next, what to do next, and what you're doing actively. How much do you look at metrics versus your own sort of intent?
A lot of it is just our intent and what it feels like to us when we play, but we also do look at metrics. I mean, we can see when people are quitting, or at least certain people are getting past this one boss or whatever. But we also have we're in our Discord all the time, and there's like kind of a running conversation with the players, and so there's a lot of just discussion about it as well.
Gotcha.
They let us know if something's not right. And they're usually right, so we listen. Usually right.
Fire. I mean, you can't always.
Yeah. It's funny, and we're in a running argument with my community because I hate respec. Like if it were up to me, there would be no respec in these games ever because no, this is your journey through it, and you pick that skill. You know, there's no take backsies.
Okay.
And there are people that are completely on the other side. You know, where it's like, no, I want to try different builds and do all the different things. And so we usually compromise somewhere in the middle.
Anti-respec. That's
It's a hot take, I know.
I mean, I can respect it. I'm just
because I always feel like this when you play an ARPG, the other thing is like this isn't really about the world and what's going on. It's about me. I'm the hero. You know, I'm the guy that comes through and did this, and I want to feel like my path to do it was different than anyone else's. I didn't just do the same thing, made the same internet build that everyone does, and
perfectly optimized.
Right, yeah, perfectly optimized. And at this level, you take your skills out of that and put it now. I want it to feel like it's my crazy ragtag path through this thing. And again, the things that were mistakes are just part of the journey for me.
Some weight to those. Oh my gosh, my passive is doing some work here, loving it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I can respect that. Interesting.
But I'm in the minority on this one.
You one of those Iron Man players too? Just if I die, I'm dead.
I love playing hardcore.
Yeah.
Usually after I've played through several times and basically there's nothing. I've made several builds and all that. Then I kind of start to just only see how far I can go in ridiculous mode and hardcore.
Gotcha. And what kind of upper difficulty options are there?
So there's practice mode, which is super easy. Normal, which is what we're playing now, which is kind of what we think of as like, okay, this isn't your first ARPG ever, but you're not, we don't expect you to be an expert. And that's normal. And then there's hard. Which is if you've played, if you're into any of the ARPGs and have put a lot of hours into any of them, you probably are best to start on hard.
Gotcha.
And then there's painful and ridiculous for seeing where it goes from there, seeing what your tolerance for pain is. But also, people get super good at it, and we'll probably have to make ridiculous mode harder once people figure out the more optimized ways to do things.
That is sort of the cross you got to bear with taking on developing a game like this is that power creep and the skill level. Players just kind of want to keep going infinitely. There's that certain.
Yep, and there's no matter you make it like what you think is just impossibly hard, and then you watch a Twitch stream of some dude just laying waste.
I mean, back in the Diablo 2 days, I definitely didn't expect to want to keep going as long as I did, infinitely.
And it's funny, people still play Diablo 2, but there's no end game in it. It's just people found meta end game.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It's just
and by the way, it puts pangs of distress into game developers when you announce your game, and the first thing that people ask is, "What's the end game like?"
That's the new thing, though, right?
Why don't you just make the end game then? If that's going to
make the beginning game the end game. That's an interesting question, though. Is I think habits and the culture of games just over time and as things kind of popularized by the ARPG genre sort of creeps into all other genres, like first person shooters like Destiny, and the live service model sort of supports or is supported by some of the design created by ARPG games. Do you feel did you feel that anxiety when making
Torchlight? Because
did that inform
totally, and you have to now, because no matter what you make, people are going to churn through your content rapidly. In the long, if you're it's kind of common for a game like this where it's lore mode, for the story mode, just playing through once to be 24, 34 hours, something like that. And so people are going to, in the first weekend, they're going to do that. And so now what are they going to do? Now what do you have for people to do? And that's one of the reasons we do the randomizations. It's one of the reasons we design the characters to make so many different kinds of builds. And in fact, it's why we made our Endgame system, which is pretty cool.
Woo. Yeah, I'm mowing these suckers down. It's nice. Army of spiders.
Yeah. Yeah, Bane is great for the summoning of the spider minions. The Bane train. Now, I notice you have the mortar card there. I don't know if you noticed that you can. That is also, it's a passive and an active.
Yep. Oh wait, active. How am I?
You just hit that. You slot it into one of your numbers and then hit it.
Oh,
it has a little
okay, yeah.
cooldown,
That's what I've been doing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's that.
But it also shoots on its own.
Hell yeah. Okay. I just love becoming sort of a walking AOE army, single man army in the. Just making the screen just impossible to read.
There's so much going on that you know what? Though somehow you see it all too.
Somehow you can. That's I guess that's another thing is.
Yeah.
I guess this is just the ARPG design secrets hour, but how the hell do you make the screen like embrace the chaos but make what you're seeing readable?
It's
a lot of information to balance.
Yep, and you start out just making some stuff, and then
same old.
And as you go on, it gets a little bit like starting to get a little bit crazy. You look at some individual ones that you can tone down a little bit, and then you're playing single player long before the multiplayer is working. Sure, yeah. So then you have to turn them all down once you realize that in multiplayer, having 4 people on screen doing that makes it just pretty much white.
Oh my goodness. There we go.
But yeah, you know what's coming though, so we can anticipate, that there's going to be a lot going on on screen when you have all your skills slotted. It's still a complete chaos mess, though, but that's kind of what you're looking for.
I'm loving the train. This is
Yeah, the train was like it was.
How did that idea come?
It went through some. It went through some iterations. So in Torchlight 2, we made a character who. The engineer class was here's the good boss fight. The engineer class was was based on something that was going to be like the engineer or like our Railmaster here. Mm-hmm. It was part of his lore that he was out in the wilderness working on the railways that got people between cities, and since it was out in an unprotected area, he had to be able to fight really well. And so and we kind of wanted to do a train-like thing like that, and we just never really did. And so this time was like, we're really going to actually make a train. And it went through a lot of iterations to get it to feel right. Like, how active do you want it to be? Should it just follow you, or should it be something that you have to like make follow you? And how much do you want to be involved in that? And and just getting the track to look right and the train to follow you correctly. Went through a lot of iterations, but like, I think that the breakthrough was the day that we decided that it was just like a car, and then you'd add a car, and they're like, no, we got to make it like an engine and a caboose, and it looks like a full-on train. And once we put that in, we realized that okay, this is now working.
Nice.
And it just flowed from there. But it didn't come easy, really, but really happy with where it ended up.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Got some lore. I don't remember Torchlight.
Yeah, got some things. Introducing the big bads and Mother, the big evil.
Loving the tentacles going on here. The very Lovecraftian.
Tentacles make any monster creepier.
Spectral dimensions, tentacles, purple, flame. Love it. Alrighty.
All right. Should we
Got a boss time? Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Get another little intro. Some of the bigger bosses have their own little fly-through in-engine intro. See, there we are.
Wide load. It was such a goof. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh. What kind of tricks you got up your sleeve? Oh,
He's got them. He starts bringing in his ads too.
let's get that charge.
Almost got me with the charge there. I just wasn't paying attention. The more I talk, the more I'm likely to die here.
Must engage viewers. All right. Oh, get out of the way. Oh, God. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
shit, James, come on. Okay.
Oh God, I was down to almost no health there.
These spiders. Oh, he's charging way more now.
Yeah, he's getting angry.
Oh, it's got a
We're
nice
getting a
telno
nice-
at least.
Yeah, yeah. If you pay attention, you can survive it. Oh no, I walked right into it.
Oh, shit. Let's heal up, bud. Okay. Making nice wide loops. Oh, not that time. He's done.
Yeah, we got him. Oh God,
Poison now. Or did I just poison? Oh,
there we go.
boom.
I almost died like 3
Yeah, I did the thing where I was like, oh, I got this in the bag. And almost died. Okay. Let's see. Little treats.
God.
New rare sword. And yeah, I'm gonna switch that out. And 36.
Oh, I got a respectacle. That's in the way we do respec right now is bosses will drop occasionally a respectacle, which is a little token basically that you can use to respec 1 point.
Okay.
So you got to earn them.
Oh, well, that's okay. That's the compromise. I guess I should
That was the
ask.
compromise. Yeah.
That's interesting. It's not just like you buy a full respec. You have to.
Right. No, it's point by point, and you got to earn them, and you can't just wholesale move your skills from one to another. You know. But if you made a mistake and it's really bumming you out, you can fix it.
Here we go. What
Damn
else
softies.
did we get on the record? Max Schaefer says, "No."
Gamers are soft.
Oh, I like this helm. It's not as good, but I like how it looks.
Yeah, back in my day, we had to do corpse runs when you died.
Oh, God. Gamers these days. Cool. Right on. Well, maybe I don't know. We can call it pretty soon. But
Yeah, that's a good spot.
it's a good old stretch of game. A nice big boss.
Yep.
Portal back to town here. Oh.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Boom. Wow.
And we all portaled to the right places and
Yes.
stayed in our party. Always
It's pretty rad.
a risk when doing an interview.
Yeah, I was gonna say the demo anxiety.
Yeah, I will forever in my life have demo anxiety.
Don't worry, I understand. Games are very complex, crazy things.
We got a couple more days here to fix bugs.
Right. So this is out October 13th.
October 13th, which I think is today in viewer time.
In viewer time. That's right. Damn, that's crazy. Cool. Anything else you want to say about Torchlight 3?
Come check it out. We're on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC today on Steam, and we'll be on Switch in 1 week.
Switch 2. Hell yeah.
Switch 2, yes. That's the one everyone wants. It was the hardest one to get through cert, so it's coming a week later.
I can imagine. Hey, fair enough.
Yeah, but hey, we're here. We're this isn't the end for us. We're continuing to make stuff. We've been banking content for a while now for whatever our expansion plans turn out to be. Mm-hmm. So come in, hang out with us, come to our Discord, talk to us, tell us what you like, what you don't like, and you'll find that we actually listen. But a big thank you to our community, our early access community, who went through the rough early days with us and helped us make the game as good as it can be. Huge thanks to those guys because they're awesome. And welcome to everyone else that's just coming in today.